Awesome. So welcome everyone. First of all, Happy New Year. Happy 2026. It feels so good to see some familiar faces, but also some new faces. Thank you so much for turning on your videos and letting me harass you and turning on your videos and bug you and turning on your videos. Definitely makes the engagement a lot more fulfilling and more lighter. So essentially, I just wanted to say that for the next 45 minutes or so that you're with us, today's topic, we're kicking off the new year with a topic called meaning over momentum. Yay. And so essentially, with that topic, we're going to be doing sort of a question and answer period. If any of you have any questions, we can coordinate the mute and the unmute, more of the technical aspect of things. I think just as we get the conversation going initially, it'll be between me and Sanatan Dharma Prabhu. Shreya, I know you've tuned in the past for our session, so it's really nice to see you again. And Jill, welcome once again. It's really good to see you. Bola, it's so good to see you too. So thank you all so much for tuning in. So I guess to get us started and to kind of get the conversation going, I often hear that the new year brings a lot of hope, brings a lot of excitement. Everyone starts off at 100, and then I probably give it like 2 weeks, and we're probably sitting at 30 by the time we finish the first 2 weeks of January. And so we have this strong desire to do more, take on more. My New Year's resolution list, in all honesty, was probably 20 things that I wanted to accomplish this year. Realize that even if I get to 2 of those 20 things, that would be a huge accomplishment. So based on that context and based on that understanding, is there wisdom in slowing down and really prioritizing what's important and focusing on what's important rather than achieving, the 20 or 35 things that are on your list?
Hare Krishna. Once again, very happy to be with all of you. I can see the wonderful smiling faces. Thank you, Malvika, for harassing them to turn on their videos. Somehow I fail to do this, but you always succeed. I think I need to take some coaching and tutoring lessons from you how to do this. There's an amazing thing spoken by Warren Buffett, one of the very successful personalities in this world. He said, write 20 things that you want to do in this particular year. Yes, write down all the 20 things and keep the top 5, eliminate the rest. That's what he told, right? So why? Because we all have limited capacities. Yes, our capabilities may be unlimited, but then capacity is limited in terms of when we have time, energy, the effort that we could put. And thus it's very important for all of us to zoom in and focus. We also hear this Pareto principle, right? The 80-20 rule. Our effort should be put in those 20% of the things that yield 80% of the result, the outcome, right? This is what we talk of Pareto principle. When we talk from the perspective of Bhagavad Gita, the wisdom literature, well, Lord Sri Krishna introduces 3 modes of operating. Yeah, there is a mode of operating in the ignorance, where you do nothing at all. Yes, there is no planning and there is absolutely no function. Then we talk about the mode of passion, where there is so many things we plan and so many things we try to do. There is a lot of engagement, but there is no effectiveness because there is no priority. But then when we talk about the mode of goodness, the sattva guna, there is clarity in purpose, there is clarity in priority, and thus there is effectivity in execution. And that's what really helps. So rather than doing sattva guna or this mode of goodness, speaks a lot about not doing different things but doing things differently. It also talks about not doing big things, but doing small things in a big way. That's what matters a lot. So, as we were talking about, how should life be lived? Should life be measured in terms of quantity or the meaning? Right? So, meaning and purpose is of much more importance because that leads to inner fulfillment. When we talk about external achievement, yes, there has to be some kind of success, but more important than the external achievement is the inner fulfillment, which is achieved when we live with meaning.
Thank you. Um, I guess my follow-up question to that is one of the things that you mentioned right now was this idea of meaning and purpose. And I can put myself in the spotlight because I don't mind. My meaning and purpose may look very different from Bola's meaning and purpose, or my meaning and purpose may look very different from uh, Shameshwari's meaning of purpose. So, how does one go about understanding their meaning and purpose? And is it personal and individualistic, or are we united by one common purpose to work through?
Okay, I just realized I was just muted so that, yeah. We need to understand that as individuals, we all are gifted with certain abilities, certain talents, and we all are unique in the sense of having a mindset. We have a unique mindset, and that's what makes us all individuals, right? And as individuals, we all have a really amazing way to contribute to a particular goal. When we live in a society, when we live in a society, we have to be in harmony. I consider life to be like an orchestra. I have a background in the music. Yes, so somebody, now we have a set of percussionists. Now they are the one who create the rhythm in the melody, right? We have a section, the horn section. They have all the wind instruments there. We have the accompaniment. Some people do the accompaniment in terms of the different sets of strings, the violin, the cello, yes, the viola, etc. We have, of course, the instrument that I play. It's the guitar. Even in guitar, there's categorization. There is a lead guitar, there's a bass guitar, there's an acoustic guitar, right? So we have different sections. There are certain chorus singers who have a great role to play. And then there is one person who is the lead singer, right? And this is the team of orchestra. And the person, these are the people we watch. They are we are the persons who we watch who are performing. And then facing all of them is a person whose back we see. We don't see that person's face. And that's the person with the baton who is directing. He's the director who is directing everyone. As a child, I think this is the easiest thing to do. Just hold the baton and just keep doing like this. I love this part. Just do like this and the music goes. This is the easiest thing. No, that's the most difficult thing. That person is the orchestrator of the orchestra, right? So, again, coming back to the situation, we are all as individuals, we carry a different melody, we carry a different note, we carry the different set of notes, we carry different melody, we carry the different instruments. We are those contributors to the wonderful orchestrator who is the divine personality. He is often in our wisdom literatures called as the supreme orchestrator, and we are a part of his orchestra, and all we have to be is good instruments. Any slight instrument which is out of tune is going to spoil the whole music, right? In one instrument is off, the tuning goes off, or the person is not playing the right notes, that's going to spoil the entire music. So we are all bound to perform our music, and what's in our hands is to make our contribution by doing our best, by contributing to the melody. Of course, there's always a free will. The person says, no, I am not going to play what the orchestrator wants me to play. I'll play my favorite song. I'll play it my way. Well, if a person is doing that, well, that person will be not a part of the orchestra. I'll say, okay, mister, you're most welcome to go and perform your own shows. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. But then the moment we disconnect from the divine personality, we lose the divinity. So the purpose of life, we all have been given particular instrument, which is our body. We create melodies through our speech, through our thoughts, through our intellect, through our organization. And we have a free will. The most important aspect is a free will, where whether to contribute to the divine orchestra or to do it for the mundane things, to have our own music and melody, and go after our own name, fame, and glory. That's a choice. The real fame and glory is to that person who's being a, an insignificant contributor in the divine orchestra. And that's what the wisdom literatures invite us. Usually in an orchestra, there may be 100 participants. Some people have 100. But then this is a divine orchestra where we can have any number of players. You have the talent, you have the desire, please come and join. Well, I don't have the talent, but I have the desire. Well, there's training. Get trained and kindly join. So the invitation to join the divine orchestra is always open. What creates the meaning is being a part of the divine. The moment we move away from the divine and get attached to our own egoistic orchestra, where we want to be the orchestrator, we want to be the sole performer, and all those who align with us, well, you can create that program, there's no problem. But that melody will not be something that's touching toward the heart. It won't touch the heart. Right? So I wanted to put it this way. I hope it was making some sense.
Yeah. When you were talking, I was actually I was thinking about this aspect of like unconsciously I've been trained, I think, just with the way the society is. You go through university, you get a job, you progress in your job. So much of your fulfillment and so much of your success is tied to external validation. You know, it's tied to a financial bracket, it's tied to a position, it's tied to a title. And you go through your entire life thinking, like, this is what I need to do in order to feel fulfilled, or this is what I need to do in order to stay ahead of the game. And so then when you were talking, the concept almost seems a little bit foreign because we haven't necessarily gone, or at least I haven't necessarily gone through life like that, thinking that, you know, in the external validation of the roles and the titles may not matter so much, but it's how you feel internally is what matters. So if someone has attached so much of their identity to those external factors, what's even step A in understanding that they want to disconnect from that identity and embrace this other identity of feeling a sense of fulfillment, regardless of any of the external factors and validation that comes with that?
Yeah. So the very discussion that we're having about is meaning over momentum. So people have some experience of momentum in life, but then what is lacking is the meaning. That's why there is talk about this topic. Everybody has tasted success in some field at some point of time. But people may not have a complete self-actualization as to where they fit in terms of the society or what I'm meant for. That's what is self-actualization, meaning how do I use my God-given faculties? That is self-actualization. Person is very clear about how can I be a contributor. But this people have some idea. Some of them do not have, they yet to figure it out, and some people have that idea. Well, this is the way I wish to contribute because this is the way I think I'm good at this. right? What you're good at. Yes. And this typically is an arrangement which in wisdom literature is called as Varna Ashrama. Means there is a system and you're a part of the system, because we all live in a symbiotic world. A symbiotic world means we are all interdependent on each other's contributions. We cannot exist, we are a social being, and we cannot exist without the other individuals. Like, for example, if there weren't the makers, the service providers of the internet, whatever they be, Bell, Rogers, Tellus, these are the famous guys. I could catch hold of a few of these names. Imagine these guys didn't exist. We wouldn't be having this meeting, right? So we depend on these guys. We also depend on our Apple to who give us the different kinds of tablets or MacBooks. I depend on this Lenovo, the company Dell, Lenovo, and all these laptops. We wouldn't be here otherwise, right? And yeah, and we depend on each other. I'm able to see Shameshwari, Jill, iPad. Till you rename yourself, I'll call you iPad. We have Vengal, Shreya, and all the wonderful Bola. Oh, Bola's here. Okay, great. Aditya is here. Nice to see all of you. Now, if you weren't here, we wouldn't be having this discussion. And if we weren't here, you wouldn't be a part of this discussion. So it's all about interdependence. We need to realize this first. There is, again, I talk about these three modes quite often because we have to rise to the mode of goodness. When you talk about the mode of darkness, the ignorance, a person is always dependent on others. Yes, simply dependent. And it sometimes makes a person a parasite. Then we talk about the mode of passion, where a person becomes independent. I am independent. I don't need anyone else, which is not true. But what is the highest state of existence is called as interdependence. Where I contribute something, you contribute something, we all contribute something, we are a part of something, and together we all requires individuals to build a society. And it requires nations to build a world. So each one is a contributor directly or indirectly in making this world. And are we a contributor or a destructor? That's another question altogether. But the point what I'm trying to say is we need to see this bigger picture. We all should come out. There's a story of a frog in the well. I'd like to quote this. Our founder Acharya of our society, the founder, Srila Prabhupada, would often quote this story. Once there was a Dr. Frog. He was a doctor and he lived in a well. So this Dr. Frog was once visited by one of his friends. So these friends came to the well of Dr. Frog. This Dr. Frog lived in the well for many years. So he said, "My dear friend, you've come from such a long time. So good to see you. Where were you?" So this friend said, "Well, I was in the Atlantic Ocean." He said, "Okay, nice. What's the size of this Atlantic Ocean? Is it half the size of this well?" He said, "What are you talking about? Atlantic Ocean is huge. Okay, it must be the size of this well." He said, "My dear, it's huge. Okay, maybe twice this well." He said, "Oh, you can never fathom what is exactly the Atlantic Ocean unless you experience it." So when we talk about meaning, we talk about abundance, it's very important for all of us to broaden our spectrum. Yes, we need to broaden ourselves. That's a preliminary step in becoming a spiritualist, broadening your vision. It's Sanskrit, we call it Udaradi. It's like Udara means to broaden, Di means your intelligence. Unless we are Udaradis, unless we broaden our intelligence, we cannot see things as they are, or we cannot understand things. So that was my first attempt to broaden up everybody. We are a part of a family, we are a part of a society, we are a part of a community, we are a part of a nation, we are a part of this world. And this world, as per the wisdom literatures, is a very tiny, insignificant creation of the divine. Very tiny. So so that makes us really feel very insignificant. That's the sign of advancement. Spiritually, in order to make progress, there are two things required: appreciation of the divinity's greatness and recognition of an individual's insignificance. So that's why I think I didn't take this step. I directly went on to converse, so you brought me a little back. Prabhu, come back. Yeah. So when we recognize these two facts around us, and this doesn't require much of processing. It can be understood that what is our circle of control and your circle of concern. We have very small circle of control. We can't control many things. We can't even control the temperature of the Canada country right now. We all have to just simply accept it. We can control the room, the temperature of the room we're living in, but we really cannot control the weather conditions outside this room. That's not our control, right? So how insignificant control we have. That was recognized. So thus, it's now very important to us to appreciate that there is a divine arrangement around us. Are we beginning to appreciate that? Yes. So now comes a choice. If you wish to add meaning, it's not that I'm talking from my fertile brain. I'm talking from the wisdom literatures. If anybody wants to add meaning, well, this is a very wonderful path which you might want to explore. Because we are confined to our own works, we are confined to our own zones, our own thought process. But if we really want to take it to the next level, let's start at least connecting to the divine in some way. I may not be a holistic contributor in the divine orchestra, but can I play a single staff note, a single note in the divine orchestra? Yes, sometimes even I have had parts of just playing a simple, maybe a 3-4 seconds lead, that's it. The song goes on for something like 8 to 10 minutes, but you just have to play something for like just 8 to 10 seconds. That's your contribution. But when we become a part of something big, yes, we feel good. But when we become a part of something divine, we feel true meaning. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. Um, I'm happy to continue on with my questions. I think some of you know I ask a lot of questions,
She
but
does. So please
but at
interrupt
this
her.
point, yeah, but at this point, I would like to toss it to you to ask any questions or even reflect anything that you've heard in the last 25 minutes or so. So if anyone would like to go first, I think someone raised their hand.
More.
I think you,
Yeah, I was just gonna
yeah.
ask. So how would you say, we know when we are, kind of following our divine purpose? Is it when we feel this deep sense of fulfillment, or, just when we feel sort of alignment, or, what kind of steps can one take to ensure that they're being aligned with the divine and following their divine purpose? Would it be something like meditation, or I just want to know, like, what do you think about that?
Yes, thank you. So am I getting your name right, Morir? How does it spell? How does it how do you pronounce it?
It's Morire.
Morire. Okay, Morire.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Morire, for your wonderful question. The
Thanks.
fulfillment, you can keep your microphone on if that's okay, so we can
Okay.
have a dialogue. It will be a dialogue,
Okay.
right? So, fulfillment is the experience. It's not the process, it's the experience. So, as you rightly said, fulfillment is the experience of following the process to be a part of the divine arrangement, right? Now, what is the process? Now, process is something that is mentioned in the wisdom literature. And since this forum, we call it the Bhakti Yoga way. We call it the Bhakti Yoga way. And in the Bhakti Yoga way, we have 9 different ways in which one can connect and follow the process of connection with the divine. We can connect to the divine in 9 different ways.
Mm.
I don't want to enumerate all of it right now, But one of the ways in which is the easiest or the best recommended way to connect to divinity is the meditation on the name. It's called the mantra meditation, which in other words we call it as the chanting, right? This experience is the highly recommended process, which is very practical in today's busy and fast-paced life
Yeah.
that we can do, right? Because if we go on to meditation, I was just reading something very amazing the other day. It comes something to this effect that today's day and age, we all have very, very disturbed minds. We have very complicated lives in terms of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's a very, we're living in a jet age. Everything's very fast. So it's very difficult for us to sit down and just meditate on nothing or just breathe, which has to be done. But that's not something which is a process that we can follow. It's called the dhyana yoga. It was done, and even dhyana yoga, which is mentioned as the meditation process, this requires a kind of setting where you have to go to the mountains, you have to be living a life of solitude, it'll be a total disconnect from today's society.
Mm.
So there's a lot of prerequisites which may not be practical for everyone, especially in this day and age. It requires a very austere lifestyle
Yeah.
where one sleeps too less, eats too less. But bhakti is a very practical way of life, which which says only two things. Number one, you whatever you do, right? Whatever work you do, you can make it as a divine offering to the Lord for the divine. And number two is wherever you are, under whatever circumstances you are, we take set aside some point of time, some time, and we participate in the chanting of the Maha Mantra. Yes, mantra means man and tra, that which delivers the mind,
Mm-hmm.
and Maha Mantra is it carries the effect of all the different mantras. In fact, every single mantra put together, encapsulated in one mantra, is called as Maha Mantra. You get the result of chanting everything. That's what
Mm-hmm.
is called the Maha Mantra.
Mm.
So the Maha Mantra which we recommend our students to chant is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It goes like this: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Where Hare refers to the divine energy of Krishna, who is the all attractive personality, who gives pleasure to everybody. He's called as Rama, who is complete embodiment of bliss, and he provides bliss to all. He's called as Rama.
Mm.
So these three words arranged, made in a certain arrangement, just like you have 9 digits, you make certain arrangements and you reach a person over the telephone. Similarly, these three words, when arranged in this fashion and chanted, make us supremely connected to the divine. This is the Maha Mantra. So this is the recommended process.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you for answering my question.
Thank you.
I just wanted to give a brief shout out. Bull actually brought her daughter. That was her daughter. So welcome
Ooh,
to
is
the
there a
first time.
possibility we could see you?
Sure.
Okay.
She told me it's okay to give your shout out. I asked her if she would be super embarrassed, but she said absolutely
Oh,
go ahead.
you asked a brilliant question. You're just like your mom.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd have
Thank
loved to
you.
see you in person when I was in Calgary, but
Yeah, for sure.
sure, sure. We'll definitely make it up next time. So it's a really amazing thing that you asked. It means a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thank you so much, Malvika.
Nice meeting everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? Floor is all yours.
Okay, we have Jill.
Jill.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
You're audible, Jill.
Okay. So I'm of course, I'm like reflecting on the conversation Prabhu you had and with Malvika, and one thing which comes up in my mind when I think about purpose and everything, right? And one thing which, of course, like I related a lot was with the example or analogy about the orchestra. That was a beautiful example, like how we can place ourselves, you know. Um, one question I have is that like how do we become known to the abilities we have? As you mentioned that we have like our own unique abilities, and uh, like how can we become known through that and know which team I'm playing in the orchestra, you know? Like I also remember you mentioned about the one ashram system as well. So how can we find our place in that system? Like how, you know, if you get to my question.
Jill, that's an amazing question that you asked, and because this will resonate with many hearts. That how do we find out what's my instrument, what's my forte, right?
Yes.
If you look at the Varnashram arrangement, in broader sense, there are four categories. One is the intellectual category, second is the administrative category, the third is the mercantile category, and the fourth is the labor category. So we all, without these four uh, roles, any society cannot operate, right? So these are the four broad categories. So our first goal should be to recognize which category we fall under, right? And once we recognize that, then we can start reconciling and recognizing which field in that particular category is something that's resonating with my interest, that's your inclination, and your abilities. We map that. So now, how do we identify this on a principle basis? One is practically doing it, another is principally. So principally it is said, till the time a person, again I talk about these three operation modes, till the time a person is not situated in operating, not accustomed to be operating in the mode of goodness, till such a time a person will not be able to see things as they are, outward and inward. That's why in the Vedic times, in the ancient times, there used to be a system called the Guru Kula system. Guru means a teacher and Kula means a home. It means, of course, Kula means a family as well, but Kula also means a home. It's a family that makes a home, right? So every student, this was the education, they would enroll themselves in a Gurukula, yes, in a system or home of a spiritual master, a guru. And there they would be trained in three aspects. One is discipline, second is obedience, and third is sense control, control over the senses. This was the training given before you learn any subjects, before you learn any software, technology, engineering, medicine. This is the training that you would receive: discipline, obedience, and sense control. And what would this training do? This training would put them in that mode of goodness. You would learn when to attain the mode of goodness, right? And this is often a topic that is brought about by many learners, that the schools teach you subjects, but they don't teach you how to be a learner. So this was the first training that was given. Before you go on with the process of learning, how to be a learner. More the time spent effectively on this, the learning would be a piece of cake. They wouldn't actually spend much time learning the subjects because that would happen just with the snap of a finger. When you learn how to learn, then you learn things really well. So that similarly, Gurukul would teach you, the training would teach you how to lead a life. They wouldn't tell you what to do in your life. No, how to lead a life. You operate on this mode of goodness, you will function well in any walk of life that you pick. Because that's the basic rule of learning. If you read the whole principle of Gita, if you would want to use it as a life management tool, it would tell you operate in mode of goodness because that's something that's meaningful and sustainable, right? So moment you come to the mode of goodness, which requires to regulate. If you want some hint, I would request you to please go to the 6th chapter of Gita, refer to the mantra number, the verse number 16 and 17. These two verses precisely tell us how exactly do we come to this mode of goodness. That happens when you regulate the four things in your life. You regulate your eating, you regulate your sleep, you regulate your recreation, and you regulate your work. These four things you regulate, you operate in the mode of goodness, and then you can see things as they are. It will happen. Okay.
Thank you so much, bro. That helps.
Thank you, Jill. Yeah, sure.
Anyone else? Even if it's not related to the topic. Oh, my mom has her hand up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much again for the wonderful class or the session. And like it was mentioned earlier, beautiful analogy of using the orchestra. Um, so my question was, Prabhuji, I'm not sure if this was answered earlier, but you had mentioned that we should align ourselves with the divine. So I was wondering, how do you recognize that? How do you feel that this is what I should be doing?
This was the same question that I think Jill had asked in another way. Usually what happens is we have certain assessment of ourselves, right? We will self-assessment. We also need to take into consideration the analysis of, I would not say many, not too many, maybe one or two people who are watching us who know our abilities. They may be our teachers, our parents, or they can even be a good friend, a healthy peer who really cares. So they are the people who can confirm our assessment. They can kindly acknowledge that, okay, is this right? Okay, fine, I would like to give it. So in our estimation, those people should be stable in their own fields. They should be inspiring in their character and maturing in their behavior. We know the SIM card, right? SIM card. We talk about SIM card. So these personalities should be exactly like the SIM card, SIM. Stable, inspiring, and mature. When we find these three qualities in such a person, we can trust their observation. Right? We can trust their observation, and then we can kind of clarify our assessment of ourselves. Is it okay? I'm just
Yes,
adding to,
Prabhuji.
fine. I wanted to give a different answer than what I gave to Jill, so I added up another concept. Okay, thank you so much for coming and encouraging us.
No, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we have Bola. Yes.
Yes. Like Malvika said, we've been born into a rat race. We're born into the world. We go to school. We graduate. We get a job. We get married. You get children. Just a rat race. You want to get this. You want to get that. It's non-ending. It's endless. So my question is, now that as spiritual students, and we've realized the importance of conscious living, giving priority to meaning over endless momentum, or just going and accumulating all the things that are trash that we don't need long term. So having realized that, how do we stay constantly in that conscious living of the fact that I want to connect my purpose to the supreme purpose, and my little quarter, I am performing it in accordance to the divine existence. We get carried away. It's so hard. We go in and out of that conscious living. So how do we make it a steady flow such that it's a continuum and we're not losing it along the line? Because so get carried away. Oh, my friend just got a new house. My friend just got a new. When do I get that? We get so confused and everything gets muddled up. And then when you have missed your conscious friends like this, you're like, okay, I don't need that. I don't need that. You're consciously living. But it's so hard to continue with that tempo. How do we make sure that we don't lose that conscious living? Yeah.
First of all, I would like to appreciate your intensity. You're quite intense when you communicate. And trust me, you'll be an excellent spiritual teacher. You're going to be an excellent spiritual teacher. I can see that you're a very wonderful teacher in the making. You and also your daughter. I can say, you usually say like father, like son. I can say like mother, like daughter. So Morire is giving a thumbs up. Okay. All right. Thank you. The answer to your question is, again, I'm just taking an extract from the wisdom literatures. This is coming from a scripture called as Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a postgraduate study to the Bhagavad Gita, the message of Lord Krishna. And it gives a one-line sutra or a formula for all of us, which is an answer to your question. And that's called as Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, meaning we need to serve two types of scriptures regularly. Nityam means regularly, and Bhagavat means the two types of scriptures, the two types of literatures. And thirdly, Sevaya, which means we come in contact and we serve with an attitude to serve. So there are two types of scriptures. One is the book scripture. The second is the person who has digested the essence of scripture and is living the life that's taught in the scriptures. So these are the two types of Bhagavatas we talk about. So we need to come in contact with such an environment or such personalities at least once a week. And we need to keep in touch with the scriptures on a daily basis, even if it were to mean for a minute or two. But that contact, the divine contact, is something that will keep reminding us for our purpose. That's why the spiritual personalities who are the living scriptures, the talking scriptures, of course, scriptures are living, they're not dead. They carry the spirit. And the scriptures, both of them, they function as alarm clocks. Why do we use alarms? We use alarms to set reminders. Reminder to wake up, reminder to show up at work, reminder to do a particular chore or to run some errands. So all these reminders we set. So similarly, we need to set our schedule in such a way. The schedule should be such that we have these two reminders. The one is a daily reminder to come in contact with the scripture on a daily basis, even if it would mean just reading one line, because that one line is something that can make your day. And the number two is to come in contact with this kind of an association, this peer group, the spiritual tribe, which I call it, at least once a week. We do this, then we will be reminded of the purpose. We wouldn't get distracted. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Buddha.
Anyone else want to share or reflect anything? Ringal, would you like to share or reflect anything?
Say something, Mingel. Say something to inspire me.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, this is very timely. I find these topics are always so timely in my life. I'm actually taking a class right now. I'm in school all week, and this whole week, my final assignment, which is due tomorrow, is about writing my purpose. And I struggled a lot about what my purpose was because in like if I go down into detail, like I know the purpose of my job, like at work, I know my purpose. If I look at it from the scope of school, like my purpose is like to get a good grade and graduate. But when I look at my overarching purpose in life, it was like a really big challenge. And so I wrote like 5 or 6 different purposes. And then I think I kind of have an idea of my purpose now. So I think this is very good for me to be there. And I do like the connection of there are all these different things I'm trying to do, but then finding the meaning to me or like essentially, finding the meaning to me and how all the common thread between all the different projects I'm taking on right now. And so I think that this conversation helped me realize what the common thread is and how that's ultimately connected to my purpose. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mingel. That was nice. It was a very purposeful point that you made. Oh. We have Jill with his round 2 of reflection. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself now. Yeah.
So no, I just have a small question. I was just reflecting on like how we were sharing about like a divine arrangement. Um, I just reflecting on that okay, like how this session over here is such a divine arrangement for me specifically because to be very honest, I was looking like answer to the question which I asked you, and I was like wondering like whom should I ask, like and I like I mean somehow asked ChatGPT, but it didn't give me the right answer. But then, like, yeah, I mean, I feel very grateful to be in this session, and thanks to Malvika and Sanatan Prabhu for having this session, and it helped me a lot. I mean, it got my answer, like it got my answers to the questions. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So ChatGPT doesn't have answer to all questions.
It
It
doesn't.
requires an intelligence to know what to ask ChatGPT before asking how to ask. But
That's
I'm
true.
glad you did that activity. You got to know. There's no amount of artificial intelligence that can actually replace wisdom, natural wisdom. There's artificial intelligence, there's natural wisdom. And this is wisdom from the wisdom literatures.
Yes.
I'm just taking it, presenting it as transparently as possible to you.
And we are very lucky and grateful to have you over here. I mean,
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise.
thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There's a chat by Mohini Murthy Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji, for adding purpose to my life. We are extremely grateful and indebted. You're much senior in practice and in age. You can give blessing to me. Thank you. What do we do, Malvika? Should we? I really wanted to hear the others, something from others. Shameshwari, Nandini
Yeah.
Prabhu. There's also, I saw Purushottam Charan Prabhu here.
Yeah.
You can say something. Yes.
I guess we can go in order then. Shama's first on my screen. So
Okay, so please do not leave the group. Stay, add one line, at least one line. Okay, Shameshwari, go ahead.
Okay, not a question, but I guess a comment. I really liked how you use the orchestra example, especially because I grew up taking band class for God knows how many years. So the way you kind of broke it down into, you got the percussion and the wind instruments and then the different strings and everything. I feel like it's a wonderful way of making people understand that you're a piece to the whole puzzle and how, without with even just one piece missing to the puzzle is never complete. So I kind of like the way you, yeah, put it all together. It was a beautiful way, and it really meant something to me.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing? A person who's playing on the horn section cannot
Mm.
play something on the percussion. He would say, "This notes, it doesn't work." No, you had to play your
Completely.
notes. Isn't it such an amazing? This is a reflection and thought I got when I was reading about the spiritual world, the Vrindavan Dham. I was reading a description of that, and there the description says that everybody plays to the music to please God, to please Krishna. The
Mhm.
wind is moving, the wind is kind of being an instrument, and even the trees, the hustling of the trees and the leaves, their movement, the branches, they are creating music. That's waking up the birds. And then the birds start singing. And the birds start singing, the flowers, they are inspired to even add some fragrance. And after
Mhm.
hearing the birds chirping and singing, the other insects, they, when the flower gets activated with the smell, then the insects, they they start buzzing and, making their sound. And then hearing to all of these things, the cows, they come and contributed. So this is how the animals, the birds, insects, the trees, all of them, they are creating a very wonderful music. So I was just reflecting on that one particular verse, and of course this analogy just popped up from my reading.
Beautiful.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a very happening place, the spiritual world. We just don't know how happening it is. That's why we don't have the inclination to go there. But just see, just this one shloka could make so much of meaning, right? And they're all doing it to call. It's a calling to the Lord. Please come and give us your divine audience. Allow us to serve you. That's a call, the sincere call that they're making. Amazing, right? Okay, next on list is our iPad. No, Nandini.
Hello, Hare Krishna.
Hi, Krishna.
I wanted to, first of all, thank you, of course, for starting off the new year with a great topic. I think I was just reflecting on myself personally and how at the beginning of the year I always have, again, like we had talked about, the very first thing that we said was we start off with all these resolutions that we want, and then we try to bang through them, and then something happens and we fall off the wagon. I'm very much like that. I think I sometimes reflect on my life and I'm like, oh, I haven't done enough. I have to make up for lost time and I have to do everything all at once. But then I overload my plate too much and then I don't get anything done, which then is more disappointing. So I wanted to thank you for sharing that. It's okay to take your time, choose the first 5 things in your list, and just kind of work slowly through everything. You don't have to get everything done so fast, so quickly. As long as you're staying consistent, I think that's the biggest thing. It's kind of like the topic today is meaning over momentum. You don't need to be rolling through things so fast. It's about your meaning behind it, the purpose behind why you're doing what you're doing, why you want that to be a resolution. And I think staying consistent, in a sense of even us talking and chatting with each other over this, it helps us all stay spiritually rejuvenated. We're all from so many different parts of even like the world, but then we're still taking this 45 minutes to an hour to speak with each other. And I think that's very special.
Because it's meaningful.
Yes,
Thank you for
exactly.
making a very meaningful point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have Shreya going in next? If you could say something, that would be
Hare
really
Krishna
nice.
Prabhuji, thank you for such an insightful discussion. I just wanted to share, I really resonated with the question that Bola had asked, because I do find myself in that situation where I find it difficult to stay focused on the purpose with so many like distractions in our life. That was the same question that I also wanted to ask, but I'm very glad that Bola asked that and in such a beautiful way. Um, and I specifically resonate with that because oftentimes, like, I find that even when I do try to um, become more spiritually aware, doing my rounds or like reading the Gita, I'm doing it like by myself, and I feel like that's always like that's never enough. Just doing the practice alone, like by yourself, I feel like there's always like something missing. But I really like the answer that you gave, which was like very measurable, like once a week, getting association from others, like joining meetings like this. And I feel that that's like the missing part um, to what I'm looking for. So thank you.
Thank you. You have a very good take home. You're an essence collector. You got the essence. Okay, so last but not the least, we really want to hear something from Purushottam Charan Prabhu. I see you are there in the call. Will you be able to, if possible, be on the video? We would like to see you.
Yeah, I'm just outside Hare Krishna Prabhuji, but I
Yes.
can speak a little bit.
I'm actually
Um,
missing Calgary, so if you could give me some darshan of Calgary. If possible, it's not a compulsion. Yeah, thank you. Please go ahead.
yeah, so thank you for the session. I think it was really good. The questions were really insightful, and listening to the responses was obviously really great. As you know, we were doing the Gita Marathon that finished yesterday. So for the past couple of months, we have been just in go, go, go phase. So understanding about the quality of life and taking our time, and it's okay if you're not always succeeding in everything. Hearing that from you really resonated with me. Because for the past couple of months, like I said, it's been such a hectic time because we've been trying to meet the score and target and everything. So it finished yesterday, and I think this really worked out well where I was trying to figure out how I can just relax a little bit and just take time for my own personal sadhana. And having a meeting like this really worked out. So thank you for that, and thank you everyone for the questions. And I really like the format. It's not a passive format; it's a very interactive format where everyone feels included in the conversation, and it's not just one person speaking. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I just realized that we have Keshav with us. Keshav Leela Prabhu, you here? Yes, he's here. Okay. Could you turn on your videos if possible? But before you speak, I just wanted to comment something on Purushottam Charan Prabhu's. So, just to give all of you an idea, a brief one. In the month of December, some devotees, because this is the month where Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, so some devotees take a particular target that we want to reach out this literature to this many sincere souls. That's the target they take. So that gives an accomplishment, sense of accomplishment. But while we have also read the book every day, imagine we reading Gita every day and giving it out to people, that gives a sense of meaning as well. Right? So thank you. There's a sense of accomplishment and the sense of fulfillment. Both are there. Yes, last, Keshav Leela Prabhu. If you could come on the video, we all would love to see you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
everyone. Video, yeah.
Yes. I'm searching for you. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much for the wonderful lecture and then answering to the questions. But then what actually resonated most with me was the orchestra part. Because I've always had the analogy of a soccer team because I love to play soccer. So it has always been with the soccer kind of analogy, but then with the orchestra, then I could understand it in terms of living to the will of the Supreme, whereby the one orchestrating everything. Because with the soccer, you don't usually have that one. It's just the coach, and it doesn't really add up to it. So with the orchestra, yeah, it is. And then realizing that you have to play your part and not just playing your part well, but then also you have to play it well in the way that you actually help those around you also become better, not just you doing your part. Because if you do your part, the others might just ruin it, but then your part can only be better if those around you, playing around you also, you factor them into it and then try as much as you can that you kind of cover them so that they also do better and not try to overshadow them by trying to be the best out of it, out of the whole crew. Yeah, thank you.
Great. It's an amazing point that you grow by growing others. Yes, you help others in their growth, you grow and evolve as a personality yourself. Thank you so much for this wonderful point. So, the one to give us this beautiful topic is none other than our Malvika. She came up with this very meaningful topic. We had Raj Malini Prabhu with us, but she's no more there. Otherwise, we'd love to hear from her. But it's also time we need to kind of come to a close. All good things have to come to a close. So over to you, Malvika.
So I would just like to say it's Nandini and I. It's a joint team effort because we get together and she lets me bug her quite a bit to organize these sessions every Thursday. And so with that being said, even though it's goodbye for this week, we're going to be back next Thursday. And because the speaker is actually on the call today, so Purushottam Charan is actually going to be leading next Thursday. And the details and everything will circulate, but the topic is seeing beyond identity. So we really hope that most of you can join us. Same time, same place, just different speaker, different topic, just so you can get a flavor for everyone's style. And then if you have any questions, you have my contact info, you have Nandini's contact info. Feel free to reach out to us individually if you have any feedback as well. But thank you all so much. It was so lovely seeing all of you. And I really hope that we can continue these sessions, we can grow them bigger, and then we can invite more and more wonderful souls. Keshav, sorry, wants to say something before we sign off.
Where is he? Yeah, is he?
I just wanted to confirm if there was going to be snack after. Thank you.
Yes,
I think
there
the
is a
snacks will
snack.
be.
It's there. It's going to be served. It'll somehow pop up in front of you all. So you sincerely, if you connected sincerely with the session, it's going to pop up in front of you. Relish it and give your feedback next time. Just kidding. We're still
I
inventing the
think
technology of e-prasadam. We call it e-sacred meal. The session concludes and you get it. Yeah.
but yeah, thank you so much. And again, we look forward to continuing these sessions with you. And if you find these sessions helpful, feel free to bring a friend. Nandini and I always like making new friends and meeting new people. So if you find the session helpful for yourself, feel free to invite someone else. And then we'll see you guys next Thursday evening. Okay. Bye. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
See you.